Let's dive in. Do you ever feel like food is constantly on your mind? Like you're either planning what to eat, avoiding food, or maybe avoiding eating, or maybe you're regretting something you ate, or you're trying to make up for what you ate, you're over exercising, but either way, you're just always thinking about some food in some way. I know we've had clients be like, I just ate breakfast and I'm already thinking about lunch. That's actually not normal. But you're not broken, you're not weak, it's not bad. You're likely stuck in a pattern that millions of people are in, and no one's talking about what's actually causing it. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Everyone, I am Hannah Hips. This is Sierra Spencer. We are donut loving, veggie eating psychology coaches, helping women ditch food guilt, stop the binge recycle eating, and feel normal around food again. We teach you how to trust your body, eat without obsession, and feel confident in your choices. No diets, no tracking, just freedom. Just so you know, there's millions of other women that are in your shoes. So you are not alone in this. So let's get down to it. Let's talk the truth. Why are we so obsessed with food? All right, so we like to dig into the root cause. Like what is causing our behavior so then we can begin to shift and change. If we just deal with that symptom, which is our food obsession, we're going to stay in this cycle. So what Sierra and I do in our programs, we go a little bit deeper. We're getting to that root cause so we can get to the bottom of it so we can start changing the behavior, the patterns, our thought process, have a healthy relationship with food. So let's talk about the mental and physical restriction. So number one thing that makes you obsessed with food is restriction. When we are restricting something, that means that our body is going into survival. It thinks, oh my gosh, I'm on a desert island. I need to save as much food as possible. And you're constantly going to be thinking about food. Even if you're not on a diet, you can still be emotionally restricting equals guilt. So if you're feeling guilty about food, if you're saying I shouldn't be eating this, that's emotional restriction, which is going to cause that obsession of food. So if you have this all or nothing thinking, the idea that foods are good or bad creates shame and rebellion. How many of us have been there? We think, oh my gosh, I'm so bad I ate this cookie. What the heck? I blew it already. I'm just gonna dive in and just ruin it even more. So it's creating that like obsession around food because we're doing something that we feel like we shouldn't be doing. How, if you ever have a kid and you say, don't do that, what are they going to do? They're going to do that. We are exactly the same. We are no different. So, another root cause is not eating enough, especially during the day. This leads to snacking at night, snacking throughout the day. If we're not eating full meals, if we're skipping breakfast or skipping lunch, our body's not getting that full nutrition that it needs to sustain. So our number one job for our body is to keep us alive. If we are not giving it the fuel to keep us alive, it's going to remind us, hey, I'm here to keep you alive. I need some fuel. I need some food. This is where we're going to constantly be thinking about food because we're not giving it enough food. Makes perfect sense, right? Like this is the main ingredient. When we begin to feed ourselves the amount that our body needs, we stop thinking about food until you're actually hungry again. So, food becomes this go to for comfort, stress, relief, a sense of like safety for ourselves. So, when food becomes like this emotional attachment of this makes me feel good, even if it's for a moment. Say you had a really bad day at work, your boss had to talk to you, and you go home and you want a bowl of ice cream because it's comforting you because that was really hard. Food becomes, if we can consistently do that and not deal with what's going on, then we're going to keep going to that as to comfort. So the last thing is the nervous system is deregulated. This is going to trigger cravings. It helps us feel safe, right? So think about this like there's something about eating food. It could be like a crunchy thing, salty thing, a sweet thing, depending on what you need. But actually having like a consumption of something and food in our belly, you feel the fullness, you feel that comfort, you feel like safe. Your body's like using food to regulate its nervous system when really we can find other ways to begin to regulate our nervous system and get ourselves into that relaxed state, which Sierra is going to talk about.
So let's talk about the brain and the body science here. So I'm a science nerd. So I love the science and the facts. I'm like, why do we do what we do? How is this related? So what happens is when you restrict, which means even like Hannah was saying, it's like an emotional restriction. So maybe you're not intentionally restricting your calories, but you're just feeling guilty about what you ate or just constantly thinking about it. Your brain flips into a survival response because your brain, it actually increases your food preoccupation. So when you're not eating enough, your brain flips to, I'm going to obsess about food and think about food because you're starving, right? So there's this fascinating study. It's called the Minnesota Starvation Study, where they took men, they wanted to know how to rehabilitate men after starvation. So, for example, World War II, the concentration camps, they wanted to know how to rehabilitate men. So they started slowly starving these men for this study, and then they increased the obsession with food. So they a lot of the men were like, I want to be a chef, or like thinking about food, or like constantly thinking about going and sneaking into town and getting a milkshake. Because again, when you're restricted, even if you don't realize it or it's an accident, your brain automatically increases your to be obsessed with food, right? Like I remember when I was training for my fitness competition, all I did was be on Pinterest looking up all these recipes I couldn't wait to eat when I was done with my competition. I just thought I really liked health food. No, I was absolutely obsessed with food because I was so hungry all the time. When you're dieting or restricting and you feel guilt, it activates those stress hormones like cortisol, which is going to increase your cravings. You're going to have more cravings because you're more stressed, and there's that cortisol that's going. That can also happen. Cortisol can go up and down when you're not eating consistently, which we're gonna talk about next, and how to actually to mitigate this and step by step process. But another science nugget here is the more you try to control your food, the more obsessed you become. And then the more we try to control, the more out of control we feel with food because what you're resisting persists. So, again, trying to control your food in your brain often leads to feeling more out of control.
So let's talk about how to find freedom. That's what Sierra and I are all about. That's what our programs are about, is to find that food freedom so you can like think about the things that you want to do in life rather than obsessing about food. So I'm going to give you 5 steps. Step 1, eat consistently throughout the day, especially breakfast with protein and fat. Think of really balancing out your meals and just making those consistent. Step 2, release the guilt. There is no reason to feel guilty about eating food. Food is here to keep us alive, and we shouldn't be feeling guilty about that. Let all foods have an emotional and nutritional permission. It can be fun, and it can be healthy, and it can be for all sorts of different reasons. Step 3, probably my most favorite, slow down, be present, start activating your cephalic phase digestive response. So bring the mind and body connection together. Now, step 4, identify what you're really hungry for. Are you looking for comfort? Are you needing connection? Maybe you just need to rest. You had a long day and you just need like a 5 minute, 10-minute power nap of just like closing your eyes and shutting down. Really getting curious about what is going on. What do I really need? Ask yourself, what do I truly need? And that is going to help you really get connected to what you need. The last thing, step 5, get support. You can't rewire years of restriction alone, especially with the diet mentality, diet culture out there in your face constantly of telling you what you should do and what you shouldn't do. It is so hard to fight against that big beast. And that's why Sierra and I are here, is to back you, to support you, so you feel like you can take on anything.
That's right. So, if this is resonating with you, you are so ready for that next step because inside the Empowered Eating Inner Circle, we help you stop that mental chatter that's always going, those emotional spirals, and the binge restrict cycle for good. I actually just talked with a client. I know her from my personal life, so we ran into each other, and she's like, for the first Easter, I feel like I wasn't like obsessed with chocolate and like binging on chocolate, and she can't even remember the last time she overate and had a binge. She's like, it's been It's been so long. It feels so good. And it was just this beautiful full circle moment where, and that's what we want for all of you guys who struggle. It does not have to be long. It does not have to be just the rest of your life is going to be like this. You are not stuck. You can absolutely conquer and also embrace this next phase. So if you are ready for more information, just comment below this video, wait list, or say, hey, me, I'm interested in more information to get early access and bonuses when the doors open, which is happening soon. So thank you so much for joining us today. Let us know if you have any questions. Again, comment below waitlist or me so that we can get you on our waitlist and get you that early access.